you writing down that he identified Walter Murphy as the shooter.
And somehow you're trying to get away from the fact that YSL, members of YSL shot this boy in the head. Whether it's a report.
We, being plural, correct?
Are you insulting my intelligence by asking if we being plural? I think you are.
Where are your police reports?
Day 68 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial was spicy. The defense lawyers finally get to cross-examine Detective Gaither, and she snaps back at them a few times. She tries to call out Max Sharp for insulting her intelligence when he literally wasn't. Detective Gaither is not a gang expert. I don't think she should have been allowed to be an expert in this trial. She really didn't even help the state prove anything about YSL. I mean, they talked about this attempted murder for like the whole time, and it's no one in the courtroom. The defense lawyers do a pretty good job today. Hit subscribe. Here we go. First look at Thug on day 68, looking very snazzy in that suit. I like it. He's wore that suit before, I think. The white and green tie is so clean. All right, Shannon Stillwell's lawyer, Max Sharp, up on cross-examination. This is where it could get interesting, actually. So let's go with Detective Gaither. Remember, his job is to make Detective Gaither look like she didn't do a good job at investigating. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
You were trained to write reports?
Yes.
And when I say reports, I'm talking about police reports.
Yes, I'm Mr. Jackson.
Okay, and there's initial reports and there's supplemental reports, correct?
Yes.
And investigators, you write them. And these supplemental reports follow up additions to your investigation, correct?
Or case notes, not necessarily supplemental reports, but
I'm going to refer to the blue car, and that would be the car that Dexter Montgomery was in, correct?
the victim's vehicle.
Okay. What would you like to refer to that vehicle as?
The victim's vehicle.
Now they're diving into the attempted murder that Walter DK did and got 7 years for, where he snitched on a lot of stuff.
You're the lead investigator on this case?
Not initially, no, I was not.
Okay, but eventually you were the lead investigator?
Yes.
Do you have a report that can tell us exactly what day you became the lead investigator on this case?
I do not have my original case file.
Okay, did I ask you on Wednesday to bring
He did ask her last week on Wednesday. He asked her to bring her case files, and she isn't. She is former APD, like she's not working there anymore, so the odds of her keeping these files, like, come on. But he's making her look untrustworthy. He's doing what any lawyer would do.
Did I ask you to bring your reports to the court today?
You asked me did I have them, and I told you I do not have anything from Atlanta Police Department.
So you do not have the reports?
I've already answered that, sir.
And you cannot tell us the date that you became lead investigator on this case?
The exact date? No, it was at least it was less than a month.
The report that indicates when and where you spoke to Terry Amu.
I've already answered that.
What was your answer?
I do not have that case file, sir. And I just answered. My answer is the exact same answer as the previous question.
Okay, and I'm going to ask again because this is...
Move on, Mr. Sharp.
Is your answer that... I haven't gotten an answer.
Why'd she just object again? He didn't even say a question.
Yeah, imposter question. All right, sorry, go ahead.
The judge said he has imposter question.
You don't know what date you spoke to Christian James either.
Objection has an answer.
She has an answer.
Can't answer that. I will objection.
All right, Miss Love, time to shut the fuck up. You took like 5 days for this witness. Shut up and let the defense try to do something.
From the time I retired with APD, I do not have in my possession any files. When I retired from the Atlanta Police Department, when it was August 2020, I left everything regarding Atlanta Police Department at the Atlanta Police Department on the 5th floor where our officers work. That included all of my case files, all of my uniforms, all of my equipment. I do not own anything but my Atlanta Police badges I accumulated over the years.
Who did you leave them with?
Sir, I just answered that question, sir.
You said you left them on the 5th floor. Whom did you leave them with?
I left them in our offices on the 5th floor in a file cabinet.
You wrote on 7/13/15 that D'Angelo White identified Walter Murphy, a.k.a. DK, as person with assault rifle and shooter, correct?
Yes.
When you say person with assault rifle and shooter,
Yes.
are you saying he was identified as the shooter?
According to Mr. D'Angelo White, yes.
He was identified as the shooter.
He was identified as the person with the rifle, and he stated he believed the passenger was a shooter because it would be hard for the driver to drive and shoot a rifle.
So D'Angelo White, the guy that said, "Why is I'm here?" There was tapes of that. No one really knows who the shooter was. Both of them got charged with attempted murder.
He indicated that the shooter was definitely on the driver's side, didn't he?
He did, and he also stated that it would be hard for the driver to drive and shoot, so he believed it was the passenger.
Well, actually, he in his statement to you in the car, he indicated that his thought was the shot came from the backseat driver's side, correct?
He said the passenger shot. I didn't say the passenger side. I said he stated the passenger shot. Identified, but we know that Walter Murphy was a front seat passenger with an assault rifle.
D'Angelo White ever say, I saw DK, or I saw Walter Murphy, or I saw the person in this photo shoot at the car I was in?
Sir, I just answered what D'Angelo White stated his remembrance of events were.
So he's just trying to point out that he never really pointed at DK and said, yes, that's the shooter. Someone in his car shot. Whatever, dude.
He did not believe the driver could be able to shoot a rifle and drive. So he thought the passenger, who was Walter Murphy with an assault rifle, shot the assault rifle at his friend. He also stated the backseat passenger, who was what he said to be a young man named Faggy, he had a handgun. The victim was shot with an assault rifle round.
D'Angelo White was sitting in the blue car in the Citgo that night and heard and saw OG Bentley making a phone call from inside the store.
Objection.
That's what you're saying?
Objection. Badgering number one. Objection. Cause for speculation. And objection has to be answered.
I sustain this on 3 bases.
Sustaining the 3 bases. Judge ain't letting the defense get away with nothing today.
It had to be either on it. It couldn't be from the goddamn. It couldn't be from the passenger side or from the back passenger side. It had to be either. It couldn't be the driver. Neither. It had to be the person behind the driver.
So it was the person behind the driver. Okay. Apparently Walter was in the front passenger seat. This guy could just be wrong. F***ing matters. This isn't furthering YSL.
And he said it couldn't be the passenger side. It could not be the passenger side, correct?
I did not say it was the passenger side that the vehicle was shot. I said the passenger. He stated the shots came from the driver's side. I stated it could not have been the passenger side. It had to be the passenger, not the passenger side of the vehicle, is what I stated. If you go to his interview inside our vehicle, he also stated he did not believe it was the driver. It came from the driver's side, but he did not believe that it was the actual driver. It was someone.
It's the seat behind the driver. What's the confusion here? She f***ed up on her wording saying passenger because passenger side, but she should have just said it was the seat behind the driver.
You writing down that he identified Walter Murphy as the shooter.
And somehow you're trying to get away from the fact that members of YSL shot this boy in the head. Whether it's a report.
All right, she need to chill out saying shit like that in front of the jury. You are only supposed to answer the questions that you're being given. She wasn't even asked a question there. Like, what? That was out of emotion. She clearly has an attitude with the defense, which, I mean, I know it's annoying to go in there and have to testify and get, you know, a lawyers to grill you about what you've said and how you investigate shit, but you can't be emotional in this situation as a detective, bro.
Case file when you left the Atlanta Police Department.
I believe you just asked me the exact same question that you did before.
I did. Could you please answer my question?
What's your question again, sir?
73 BB.
Things are getting spicy with the attitudes.
These photo lineups end up on the 5th floor.
Goddamn fly in my room.
She has not answered that.
She's answered already. That's the answer. Move on.
Did he make the comment that he thought they were going to be robbed?
Yes.
I believe he did. I'm not sure which statement, though. I can answer your question with yes or no, or correct or incorrect. I can give you an explanation for what my opinion was of Walter Murphy.
I'm not answering your opinion.
Well, I can give you the facts of what I understood Walter Murphy's statement to be, so I can't answer. I'm still answering.
I'm going to ask.
This witness is completely different attitude compared to with the state, bro. Like, she's supposed to be up there answering questions truthfully. That's it. There should be no emotion. She had no emotion with the state. This lady is not being professional at all.
Yes, he did say that, and it was more to that as well.
We had guns and shit.
Yes, he stated that.
Okay. We being plural, correct? Correct?
Are you insulting my intelligence by asking if we means plural? I think you are, though.
Okay.
I think you are.
All right, well,
Sir, don't do that. Don't do that.
Or you're not bad to the witness, or it's her intelligence, and he has a question. Your Honor, I would ask if you would like to ask.
Detective Gaither tripping, bro. Is she not aware lawyers' jobs are supposed to make her look like she didn't do her job well? He's trying to poke holes in her investigation and in her character in general. This is how it works. Like, what does she expect?
All right, sir. Let's be respectful to our witness.
I'm
Okay.
being very respectful, Judge, and I always will.
I doubt it.
Well, hold on. I doubt it. Hold on. She's saying all this slick shit in front of the jury trying to make lawyers look bad. Get this off the stand, dude. I'm pissed.
We're going to object to the last response by the witness as common servant.
I sustain the objection.
Thank you, Judge. You had a brain for once.
All right, Mr. Sharp, please. This is focused on the questions.
He is. Wait, he is focusing on the questions. What?
Who in that blue car possessed guns? Did anyone ask?
Ask who had the guns?
Yes.
That's not on the recorded statement, sir.
How many guns were in that blue car?
Sir, that's not on it. That goes to part of we did not further inquire about the guns that he stated we had, so.
Did anyone search the 1987 Fremont Avenue address for any guns that may have been discarded there before the police arrived?
Objection to true facts not in evidence.
I sustain the objection.
Sir, as you just stated, I was not there on the night that the incident occurred.
So you don't know the answer to that question?
I personally did not execute a search warrant.
All she needs to do is just answer no or yes. You're getting emotional when a lawyer is just simply doing his job trying to poke holes in an investigation. There's Nard right here. And DK, I believe, in this hoodie. Right, this is why I don't go to gas stations at nighttime. Thank God I have a Tesla now, too, because I ain't going to no gas station after like 7 p.m. in Los Angeles, bro. So what happened at this gas station, pretty much, it seems like 2 cars pulled up. OG Bentley was in one. The victims were in another car that was blue. OG Bentley thought they were going to try to rob him, so he stayed in the store for like 10 to 15 minutes and called other people to come. The other people were Nard and DK. Nard and DK pulled up ready to shoot people because they thought their friend was about to get robbed. Then the blue car leaves and didn't try to rob Bentley, but then Nard and DK chase them and like go shoot them anyway. Like some dumb shit. Trying to rob them, I guess.
He indicated that he was under the influence of Percocet and Xanax like that, correct?
Objection.
I'll rule the objection.
How the f was that vague, Miss Love?
Do you have a police report indicating that you attempted to obtain that footage?
The police report was not required.
You went and attempted to obtain video footage in regards to a homicide investigation and you didn't write a police report about that?
Your Honor, I'm going to object.
Who's this?
Foundation, mischaracterization testimony, she was not working
I
homicide.
sustain the objection.
Your Honor, how can they say?
No, I'm not gonna speak. I'm sustaining the objection.
Judge showing some bias today, boys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a comfort break. If you could come back for 11:45, please.
Judge had to take his daily shit in the middle of the trial. Let's go.
It was definitely after January. I believe it was after January.
Kenneth Copeland, or YSL Woody, had Detective Gaither's number on f***ing speed dial. Bro was snitching.
Do you have any recordings of these conversations?
I'm not sure.
Do you have any police reports regarding these conversations?
I'm not sure.
This is a gang expert that has no reports. I feel like she hasn't added much substance to YSL being a gang besides the artwork that she misinterpreted, in my opinion. I mean, this has been a shit show of a witness for the state.
Where would those reports be?
I haven't.
If you know. Do you know where those
I
reports?
sustain the objection.
Okay, did you write reports about those things?
I believe some of the information was documented, yes. I don't recall a specific date, but I've had phone conversations with Mr. Copeland several times between January and June.
Bro snitched for 6 months.
I've spoken to Miss Love, yes. Majority of the time over the phone, if I was available. I may have met with Miss Love once. No, I see Miss Love every day that I'm here.
Where's he going with this? She's been meeting with the state a lot, and she met with them and talked to them over the phone.
Mr. Steele reached out to you about talking about the work in this case, correct?
The work in this case, or that he wanted to speak with me about regarding this case?
About the work you did in this case.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I couldn't understand. You said the work you did. I didn't.
Yes, the work you did in this case.
He stated he wanted to speak with me in regards to the case.
But eventually you said that you did not want to speak about the work in this case to the defense side, correct?
No, you're incorrect.
I mean, there's clear bias here, but I mean, that's expected for a detective, honestly. To a jury, I feel like this lady doesn't really present much value to them.
I believe this is accurate, that your characterization of what I said is inaccurate. That is what I emailed after Mr. Steele was given an opportunity to call me and meet with me, and he did not meet that time. So therefore, I was not going to keep rearranging my schedule because he did not meet that time.
Hopefully you were able to find answers to any questions you may have in my corresponding police reports. Mr. Gaither, where are your police reports?
Objection, Your Honor. Ask and answer.
I sustain the objection.
Kind of a mic drop of her saying that. I mean, apparently Steele wasn't available and he missed her time. In front of the jury, that's not a good look for your lead detective of this attempted murder and gang expert that really didn't provide much. Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele, up for cross. Let's see how he approaches it. Uh-oh, we got the artwork they say is a taunting of rival gang because of the hawk and the snake wrapped around the hawk. Even though that's Future's logo, it's a collab mixtape. It's not taunting whatsoever.
That Future's logo was an eagle.
It was an eagle, but not this depiction of an eagle, but yes.
The reason that this caught your eye is you believe that this album cover was somehow throwing gasoline on a gang. Is that something
Yes,
like that?
yes.
And that's because it's your understanding that the snake really is kind of inside, the way I look at it, the skull of the rival gang. That's how you look at it. Fair to say?
That was a depiction that the gang unit had based on our previous dealings with, and their emblems that they used to represent themselves.
The performer known as Future that we just have been asking about. Were you aware that he was signed at the time of this record album cover by Sony Records?
No, I was not.
Were you aware that Sony Records also has a subsidiary, meaning a subpart, Epic Records?
I object to facts not in evidence.
Ever bother, and I don't mean that in insulting, just did you ever take the time to find out who did that one?
What's the relevance of who drew it?
Just asking, did you do it?
Objection, relevant.
It's the image that we've been talking about.
Oh, objection.
For me, it was not relevant to artists.
How much input did Jeffrey Williams or anyone with YSL have in creating that artwork?
Objection, foundation.
So now he's going into the graphic designer that made the artwork. Show the jury that they don't know who made this artwork and they never really looked into it. And that's kind of a big deal. I mean, if you're saying this is gang artwork, why not try to get the guy who made the artwork?
Is it important to you as an investigator, and you can qualify as an expert, and I'm talking about YSL, is it important to you to know whether Jeffrey Williams had any involvement in the creation of that art?
For me, the creation of the album, no, but the message that can be interpreted by artwork is based on the individual viewer. And coming from the gang unit, you talk about free bands. I've never seen Future or free bands represent themselves with just the skull here. I've seen images of If Gang represent themselves with If Gang ABG with just the head of the bird, not the full wings like free bands. So my interpretation of it was disrespect. If you put his name on it, there's some level of involvement. What's being put out and representing his name?
There's just not enough solid evidence to prove this artwork is furthering YSL as a gang enterprise. There's just the way this gang unit interpreted it, but it doesn't mean it's true. I hope the jury is seeing right through this. Uh-oh, he brought other album covers to disprove it. Here we go.
It's like large bird.
And then a snake being held?
Yes.
And you know the artist named Sergio Kitchens, who performs under the name Gunna?
I don't know him personally, but I've heard of his name.
He part of YSL?
Sir?
Part of YSL?
Yes.
And then Roddy Ricch, RDDYRICCH, that's a performer, right?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yes, sir.
And they did this album. That you notice that there's a snake, that's a symbol of YSL, right?
Yes.
And then the eagle carrying the snake. Fair to say? The eagle's holding the snake.
Yes.
And did you know that Roddy Ricch's album or motto or logo or symbol is the eagle.
Objection.
Damn, so another artwork came out around the same time with Gunna and Roddy Ricch.
You familiar that, the artist Lil Wayne?
Yes.
Wayne Carter?
Yes.
You familiar that he uses a goat
A goat to do what?
as his symbol? Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Are you familiar with the album where Jeffrey Williams and Lil Wayne have a goat and a snake on the cover?
A goat and a snake? Not off the top of my head, no, sir.
He's just pointing out all the cover arts of YSL members doing the same thing, and collab projects, they combine the logos. So it's all up for interpretation, but
Based on your personal knowledge, do you know whether Little Baby has a sculpture of a child as his model?
No.
You don't know that? Are you familiar with an album cover where Jeffrey Williams and Lil Baby collaborated, and there's a snake and the sculpture of Lil Baby on the album cover? Are you familiar with that?
Objection.
shout out Thugger Daily Twitter. This is the Roddy Ricch and Gunna artwork of a eagle and a snake. Here's the Lil Wayne and Thug one with a goat, and Gunna and Lil Baby want the snake and a little baby, obviously, and then more Gunna and Lil Baby. This is a very common thing for YSL members to wrap snakes around anything that they're collabing with. Literally shits on the state's whole thing.
Artwork is left up to the interpreter. And as far as the gang unit and back and forth shootings that we were working, it appeared relevant at that time.
So, I mean, she just admitted it's up for interpretation, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but they're in court with these guys' lives on the line saying this is gang shit. Like, they're saying it as a fact when it's your interpretation.
Be aware that Jeffrey Williams was with Donovan Thomas in October 2014 during his musical concerts.
Objection, Faith.
So he's trying to show the jury that Thug and Donovan Thomas were friends at some point. Probably so confusing for the jury. They're like, I thought these guys were big rivals. They were friends at some point? Here's the Instagram repost that Scarface put on Instagram of Thug saying basically all snitches should be killed. It's a repost, so his lawyers, of course, are going to take advantage of that, saying like this could be altered. He wasn't even the person that posted it.
Can you tell, ladies and gentlemen, jury, when this video audio was made by Mr. Williams?
May we approach?
State just asked to approach over that question, but they're trying to really point out this was after Donovan Thomas was murdered. They don't know when this video was created. It's a repost. Literally says repost Wiz app right there.
That Jeffrey Williams encouraged or consulted with Mr. Garlington to do this repost on January 26, 2003.
If he consulted with him?
Yeah, we're encouraging you to do.
No, sir.
This is an overt act in a RICO indictment, and there's no evidence that Thug even told the guy to post it or anything.
The rapper dude ain't talking about nothing, man.
That boy name, what they call him. That boy name rapper boy.
That nigga can't do shit for you. I hate that shit, man. That's some sucker shit, though.
The rapper dude ain't talking about nothing, man. He hears something like that.
Yes.
And then Mr. Stevens saying that boy ain't what they call him. That boy's rapper boy. Hear that?
I did.
And then two of them laughed.
Roughly after, yes, sir.
Do you have any jail recordings where Trontavia Stevens says that Jeffrey Williams is the leader of the scene?
No.
Jeffrey Williams pays for my lawyer?
No.
Jeffrey Williams, I do these crimes for Jeffrey Williams?
No.
Separating Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, from these jail calls of them talking about him, saying rapper boy doesn't really help us at all or anything. Like, it's a pretty good defense pointing out that he doesn't help his fellow gang members, you know what I mean, with lawyers and shit.
Do you have any recordings to share with this jury where Mr. Murphy said something to the effect of, I've done so much for Thug in crime that he owes me. He should be paying for me. Do you have anything like that?
Objection, Your Honor. As it's compound.
I'll sustain the question. Do you have any recording to share with this jury while Mr. Murphy's on a recorded line that he said anything to the effect of Mr. Williams owes him?
As in jail calls or any type of recording?
Let's do jail calls first.
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any evidence that Jeffrey Williams ever spoke with Mr. Murphy after the end of the year 2013?
As in a phone call or a face-to-face conversation? What do you mean?
Anything. Do you have anything you could show the jury?
To show the jury at this moment, no.
This is not an expert. I'm sorry. This isn't an expert. I don't know how this is qualified as an expert.
A music video entitled Blood with Donovan Thomas was in that music video.
I don't recall the title. Blood. You showed me the video.
Ooh, Rich Homie Quan on the left and Donovan Thomas right here.
See that gentleman in the white?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen jury who that is?
It appears to be Donovan Thomas.
Okay. Now, how does it fit into this gang war that began at least by October 2014, as you describe it, and Mr. Williams' music video, November 20th, 2014?
I believe I stated my starting point in looking back for retaliatory shootings was October. I believe you said this started in October. The gang war started in October. As I already clarified, that was my starting point, which was October.
Did you not tell this jury that at least by October 2024 there was this back and forth gang war going on?
I don't believe I said that. I stated that was my starting point.
About when we were supposed to originally speak. It was supposed to be early in the morning, you thought, and I thought it was at 2 o'clock. You remember that?
No, it definitely wasn't a misunderstanding. I stated it clear in this email the time that I was available.
And you wrote, I'm not sure who instructed you on those times, but I made it clear I was only available early morning. How does 12:28, 9 o'clock A, I would take it as AM, but work for you? It's fair to say?
Mr. Reed, yes, sir.
Okay. So you said about 10 days later.
It clearly shows she was being a little invasive with the defense. That's pretty much it for day 68. Detective Gaither, Cross, Max Sharp did pretty well. He didn't really help the state prove YSL was a gang. It's literally just guilty by association at this point with some of these overt acts. But hit subscribe, join the channel membership. It's only 10 cents per day. Love you guys. Peace out.